Hello and welcome to Boxes of Comics. I am your host, Chase Higgins, and tonight we will continue to read absolutely everything you need to know about Marvel, the Marvel Encyclopedia. So, this is another book club live stream. If you are new here, don't forget to like and subscribe. And a little bit about our channel is that we are two brothers who make YouTube content that is about superheroes. So, for example, our most recent video was about Star Wars. And in that video, we talked about Star Wars Episode 2. We gave it a review. We talked about what we liked and what we didn't like. And then we added a little bit of our own story into the video. So I see Tyler is here. Hi, Tyler. Um, some more is that we post content every week or every other week, and we go live every Tuesday. And Tyler, if you would like to join the show, you can. There's the link right underneath. It's to my what? To my left, but yeah. Anyways, like I said, this is Boxes of Comics. We post every other week. We go live every Tuesday, and we are continuing a Marvel Encyclopedia, and then we post about every other week. And right now we are doing Star Wars reviews, and then this week, hopefully, we film a video, or maybe we'll do it next week. We'll film our new Spider-Man video, and our new Spider-Man video, we'll be talking about our collection of Web of Spider-Man. Oh, another person. The Gray Man. Hello there, Gray Man. How are you? Um, Talking about Web of Spider-Man because we are almost done collecting Web of Spider-Man. We only have 10 more or 12 more books to go. So that's pretty good. And then we move on to 90s Fantastic Four and 90s X-Men. So, pretty exciting stuff, guys. But without further ado, let's talk about the Marvel Encyclopedia. We are on this page, and this page says All Together Now. And it talks about the different superhero teams. And it looks like we're going to be talking about the Avengers on this page. So it says All Together Now. When trouble comes calling, there's an Avengers team ready for action. Anytime, any place, anywhere. The top 5 Avengers teams. Number 5, the West Coast Avengers, sworn to battle any threat so long as it's west of the Rockies. Number 4, the Uncanny Avengers, a team of mutants and superheroes. Number 3, the Dark Avengers, Norman Osborn's squad of crooks and murderers. Number 2, the Great Lakes Avengers, a collection of America's weirdest heroes. And number 1, you have the Pet Avengers. It is a team of super animals. So those are the top 5 Avengers teams. In an alternate universe, the main Avengers are reincarnated as Western heroes in 1872. Steve Rogers is sheriff of the town of Timely, and Tony Stark is a blacksmith with a drinking problem. I did not know that, so that's pretty interesting to know. SHIELD Declassified. Secret Avengers. A secret team is created to serve SHIELD's Black Ops interests, led by Nick Fury Jr. The team includes Hawkeye, Black Widow, Spider-Woman, Agent Phil Coulson, and bizarrely, the giant-headed evil genius known as MODOK. You could see all those characters right there at the top left. You got Nick Fury Jr. You got MODOK, he's like in the corner. But that's cool. It shows some people. Oh yeah. The Pet Avengers. They are a team of super Avengers, and they are the Inhumans watchdog Lockjaw gains telepathy and extra intelligence from the Mind Gem. He contacts heroes, pets, and forms the Pet Avengers team. So for the Pet Avengers, you have Zabu, Kazar's faithful savage land companion, who says saber-toothed tigers are extinct. Then you have Lockheed, Kitty Pryde of the X-Men superpowered alien dragon. Miss Lion, who is actually male and a normal, friendly little dog belonging to Peter Parker's Aunt May. Then you have Red Wing. He is just as slick as his human partner Falcon. Red Wing was in one of the Captain Americas. I think it was Civil War at the beginning, but he wasn't an actual bird. He was like a robot that was controlled by Falcon. Then you have Throg. He's a frog and an honorary god of thunder. You will have Lockjaw, who can resist the big slobbery mug of the Inhumans teleporting pooch. Last but not least, you have Hairball. Speedball's super-powered feline can bounce off the walls. So let me show you. We got Pet Avengers. There they all are. Pretty cool. You got an Avengers team for every occasion. Moving on, you have the top 6 Great Lake Avengers. Squirrel Girl realizes the lazy team are relying on her and quits. Number 2, you have Mr. Immortal, able to survive almost any accident. Then you have the Flat Man, super stretchy but falls a bit flat. Number 4 is Ashley Crawford, a supermodel who morphs into supersized, super strong Big Bertha. Number 5 is Dina Soar, a weird flying creature who loves Mr. Immortal. And number 6, you have Doorman, a living portal into the dark force. And there's all those characters. So, pretty cool. Then you have between the panels, Great Lakes Avengers writer Dan Slott promised that a team member would die each issue as a parody of overdone comic book deaths. The first to go, Squirrel Girl's squirrel buddy, Monkey Joe. Well, that stinks. But it's kind of like Suicide Squad, to where like everybody slowly dies. Wow, 50,000. The number of years into the future the Avengers travel to meet the team's final incarnation. That's a lot of years. Tell me more. The West Coast Avengers disperse, but many years later, Hank Pym, Tigra, and Hawkeye return to the team's LA headquarters to create Avengers Academy for all teens that would become heroes. And Avengers Academy sounds a lot like Avengers Campus that's going on at Disneyland and Disney World. So that's pretty interesting. Gray Man, he says, I liked the Great Lakes Avengers. It was fun what I saw of them, which wasn't much. Pretty cool. I didn't realize that like there were lots of Avengers teams. I just thought it was the Avengers. But I was wrong. Wouldn't be my first time that I was wrong though. Okay. Moving on, it says Hawkeye founded the West Coast Avengers alongside Mockingbird, Wonder Man, Tigra, and Jim Rhodes, but they just couldn't get along and were broken up by Captain America. So I wonder if West Coast Avengers would make it to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because they still have Hawkeye. If Hawkeye puts them together, then that could be another Disney Plus show. Just saying. Then the last but not least fact on this page is the Dark Avengers. It says when Norman Osborn becomes U.S. Security Chief, he forms the Dark Avengers team of supervillains. Osborn is Iron Patriot, a devious combination of Iron Man and Captain America. Iron Patriot, that was in Iron Man 3, and that was when Rhodey went and he decided that War Machine was like too evil or too threatening, and so he just made it Iron Patriot. So I will show you. Right there. I remember that was a big thing in the comics when like that came out. So pretty cool. All right. Then you have Mutant Marvels. The X-Men are a team of mutants united by Professor Charles Xavier's team of peaceful existence. With ordinary folks, they protect a world that sometimes hates and fears them while safeguarding the future of the endangered mutant race. The original X-Men, the roster soon grows, but the first students to enroll at Professor Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters are Cyclops. Scott Summers continually shoots force beams from the eyes. Marvel Girl, Jean Grey, vast telepathic and telekinetic abilities. Angel, Warren Worthington III, flies like a bird. Then you have Beast, Henry McCoy, ape-like genius scientist, and Iceman. Robert Drake transforms into ice, can freeze moisture in the air. That's another thing I didn't know. I didn't realize that the original X-Men did not have Wolverine. I thought they would, but that makes sense because the first appearance of Wolverine is Hulk 363 or 364, I think. So that's pretty interesting to know. And then he becomes so popular that they put him on the X-Men. But this actually sounds like a good lineup of characters for the X-Men. And maybe Marvel uses them as the first X-Men in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So that would be pretty cool. Oh, Hulk 181. I was off. Thank you for the correction. I appreciate it. So let me show you that, and then I'll read some more. So there's X-Men characters: Colossus, Cyclops, Beast, Nightcrawler, Emma Frost. Okay, what is a mutant? A mutant is a person born with a genetic X factor that gives him or her abilities far beyond those of a normal human being. These powers often appear in sudden and disturbing ways during the teenage years. Pretty cool. I did not realize. I thought like maybe their powers just happened when they were born and they were like, oh, I'm a 9-month-old baby and I have telekinesis, so I'm a teleport, like Jack from Incredibles. But here it says that their powers appear in their teenage years. So that's good. You don't have to worry about any like floating babies, superpowered babies. The top 5 unfortunate mutants. Number 5 is Beast. Hank McCoy's science experiments have left him with fangs, claws, and thick blue hit fur. Number 4 is Snot, a teenage villain who generates deadly mucus from his oversized nostrils. Then you have Maggot. He eats through 2 slug-like creatures that gobble up food and burrow into his body. Number 2 is Nightcrawler, a swashbuckling and loyal X-Man, but shunned as a child for his demonic appearance. And then number 1 is Rogue. Absorbs the memories and abilities of anyone she touches, leaving them in a coma. Some fast facts of the X-Men are key members with Professor X, Storm, Jean Grey, Nightcrawler, Colossus, Maggot, Iceman, Wolverine, Angel, Beast, Cyclops, Emma Frost, and Kitty Pryde. Related teams to the X-Men are Magneto's uncanny X-Men, and the X-Force. And their allies are New Mutants, Fantastic Four, and Spider-Man. Wow, 100 and counting. Wolverine's age, but you wouldn't know it thanks to his amazing healing factor. And speaking of Wolverine, I'll show you Wolverine. Speaking of Wolverine, apparently, whenever Wolverine shows up in the MCU, they're going to have Captain America on and like do flashbacks is what I heard. I'm not sure if that's true. Like if they're gonna bring him back just for the flashbacks, or if he's gonna like appear to actually be in the MCU. So I hope that it's flashbacks though, because I feel like all the characters that are no longer in the MCU, like Tony Stark and Captain America, Black Widow, I feel like they should just Marvel should just not use them because they've already been done. Their story's been told. Now they could bring them back in flashbacks or artificial intelligence because, like I said, there's the rumor that Chris Evans is back as Captain America for whatever, probably Winter Soldier. Yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier. But then they could bring Robert Downey Jr. back as Iron Man through like artificial intelligence, and then he could still talk to Iron Lad, aka Spider-Man, which I hate, and he could teach Ironheart and like his daughter how to become a superhero, which would be cool. But I don't think they should actually bring him back because then it, like end game serves no purpose. So it's weird. But moving on, focusing on the X-Men, you have the top 5 X-Men enemies. Number 5 is Juggernaut. Nothing stops Xavier's half-brother, the super strong, high and invulnerable Juggernaut. Number 4 is Mystique, wicked, shape-changing schemer, related to Nightcrawler and Rogue. Then you have Mr. Sinister, genetic manipulator with a cruel streak and an obsession with mutant DNA, a modern-day mad scientist. Then you have number 2, Sabretooth, the big, mean, furry, and full of furries. Sabretooth has only one goal, and that's to kill Wolverine. Then you have number 1, Apocalypse. His name says it all. The ancient mutant wants to rule the world or destroy it. So that sounds like he could be the next Thanos. I think it'll either be Doctor Doom, Galactus, Apocalypse, or they also say King of the Conqueror, which is another Fantastic Four villain. But I don't know if they'll ever get to that big Thanos level threat, but they'll be pretty big because I don't see Marvel I don't see how Marvel can build up all that anticipation again like they did for Avengers Endgame. But maybe I'm wrong, and maybe they do. So I'm just a 20-year-old YouTuber that doesn't know anything. Okay, so our last book, our last page maybe, is the Fantastic Four. The Fantastic Four, and they are back in the MCU. Right, Apocalypse was in Fox's X-Men, but Marvel could use them as their next big X-Men movie, right? Because they're different X-Men teams. There's going to be the Fox X-Men, which I think was garbage. I didn't like any of them. But once again, I'm not like a big X-Men fan. But then you have the MCU's X-Men, and I think they could bring them back. But we'll see. I think it would be cool if they do, like for the Fantastic Four and X-Men movies when they start coming out, if they do like minor villains that we don't know. Like Fantastic Four, there's a Mole Man. So he should be a villain. Or like just have them working on science projects and then like a machine goes wrong. So they have to fix science machine. Instead of like using Silver Surfer, Galactus, and Doctor Doom. Yes, it does depend on who has the movie rights, and it does get confusing. But from my research, Marvel bought Fox, and now Marvel can reboot both X-Men and Fantastic Four. So, and I think Apocalypse, that was he was played by the Star Wars guy from the new ones, the pilot. What's his name? Poe. Oscar Isaac. Yeah, he was Poe Dameron. And I think he was also Apocalypse in the X-Men movies. But yeah, I think Disney now owns Fox. And then since they own Fox, they own they own Fantastic Four, the X-Men, which means that they can reboot it, put them into their MCU. So we'll see. I don't know. Okay, Fantastic Four, and then we can finish up here. You have The Thing, Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, and the Human Torch. The Mr. Fantastic is Reed Richards. Human Torch is Johnny Storm. Invisible Woman is Susan Richards. And The Thing is Ben Grimm. Their base is the Baxter Building in New York City. The Baxter Building could turn out to be the old Avengers building in the MCU, or it could be a brand new building. Their allies are Agatha Harkness, Alicia Masters, Elijah Storm, Silver Surfer, Wyatt Wingfoot. The foes, Doctor Doom, Frightful Four, Wizard, Mole Man, Puppet Master, Red Ghost, and his former apes, and Claw. See, I knew there was a Mole Man, so you could put Mole Man as the first villain and like work them up to Doctor Doom. Like how they're doing with Spider-Man, they're doing like a bunch of C and D list villains like Mysterio and Vulture, Shocker, Scorpion. They're working up to Norman Osborn, which a lot of people for Spider-Man, they don't like the direction that John Watts took the franchise and made him like an Iron Lad. But I think like he's in high school, so from what I heard is that they want to do a trilogy of him in high school, a trilogy of Peter Parker in college, and a trilogy at the Daily Bugle. So in high school, I think it's fine that he's like an Iron Lad because he's still learning and still like trying to become Spider-Man. So you had Tony Stark mentor him in #1 in Homecoming, and he like Iron Man wasn't in there for a long time, so it wasn't like an Iron Man movie plus Spider-Man. It was a Spider-Man movie with like cameos of Iron Man. And Iron Man helped him to become a hero, and he like pushed him out of his comfort zone, and made him like make sure he was set up on the right track. Then you had Spider-Man 2, Far From Home. Tony Stark's gone, but he's still in the picture because he's like Spider-Man's like, oh, I don't know if I can do this without Tony, and then like he messes up and gives the glasses to Mysterio, and now the world thinks that Spider-Man's a bad guy. But I think that's good character development. Now in this third one, I don't think you need Tony Stark. You can move on, and he could be his own person. And I think that Zendaya is Mary Jane, which is fine. Whatever, you could have her. But I would like to see them introduce Gwen Stacy, so that way in the next trilogy you introduce the Green Goblin, and then Gwen Stacy dies and all that to make it more like the comics. So that way, like it's still the MCU's own take on Spider-Man, but you still go off of comic history. I think that would be cool. So they should do something like that with the Fantastic Four, because they've been done twice already, like Spider-Man was, and now they're in the MCU. So, and it's the same director. John Watts is doing both Spider-Man and Fantastic Four, but I don't think he'll do the next Spider-Man trilogy. He'll focus on this new Fantastic Four trilogy. But for Fantastic Four, you do something new, you do something fresh with like Spider-Man, and you do... See, with Fantastic Four, they don't need to be mentored by anyone like Spider-Man does, so that'll be interesting. But I think it'll be cool, like if you get Mole Man or if you get a Frightful Four, Puppet Master, like these C and D list villains, and then you work up to the A list villains like Doctor Doom and Galactus and Silver Surfer. I think that would be cool. Yeah, so you more information on them is how did the Fantastic Four get superhuman powers? Reed Richards, his girlfriend Susan Storm, her brother Johnny Storm, and pilot Ben Grimm make a test flight in an experimental rocket. The rocket is bombarded by cosmic radiation and crashes. The four emerge with amazing new abilities. Good day. Dr. Doom tries to ruin Reed and Sue's wedding with his emotion changer machine, but the Watcher gives Reed a device to foil Doom's plan, saving the day. And the Watcher was in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and Stan Lee was talking to them in an astronaut. That's when he was like, and now there I was being a Federal Express driver and going to deliver a package to Tony Stark. And then it cuts and it's pretty cool. What else? Yes, the Frightful Four bad guys are fleeing in their spaceship. Mr. Fantastic becomes a giant spring and he hurls Thing onto the ship for some clobbering time. Wow, 1,500 is the maximum length in feet Mr. Fantastic can extend a body part, or 457 meters. Then, in an alternate universe, in the ultimate universe, Earth 1610, Mr. Fantastic goes insane. He fakes his death and sends aliens to attack his former friends. Battling Nova and Sue Richards, he ends up exiled into the negative zone. Between the panels, the Fantastic Four's November 1961 launch was a turning point for writer and editor Stan Lee, who had considered leaving comic books for good. The Fantastic Four have gone on to sell more than 150 million comic books. So that's pretty interesting to know. When good guys go bad, a Reed Richards experiment turns the Thing back into Ben Grimm. What's more is that Ben can change back whenever he wants. However, Ben's personality changes. He breaks up with his girlfriend Alicia, quits the Fantastic Four, and rampages through New York City. And I have that run of Fantastic Four because I'm collecting Web of Spider-Man, which took place in the 90s, so 90s Spider-Man, X-Men Volume 2, the Jim Lee run, which took place in the 90s, and then I'm also collecting 90s Fantastic Four, which is issue 336 to 416, which runs from 1990 to 1998. 90s X-Men, 90s Fantastic Four, 90s Spider-Man. And then once I'm done with those three, I'm going to collect the New Mutants. So that'll be interesting. And then once I have all four of those Marvel books, I think I'm going to move on to DC. I have some DC books, but right now my DC collection is like graphic novels and miniseries, such as the Aquaman Time and Tide video that's up on our channel. So we'll see. But first things first, I have 10 more issues of Spider-Man to collect. So superhero family. Transformed by cosmic rays, the Fantastic Four could have become outcast. Instead, they see their strange new powers as a family bond and use them for the good of humanity. Mr. Fantastic is famous for his scientific genius, but all four have become celebrity heroes. Cosmic effects. Mr. Fantastic. Reed's body becomes elastic, stretching in amazing ways. Invisible Woman. Sue's new abilities include projecting force fields and turning invisible. Human Torch. Johnny gains the ability to fly through fireballs, bathe his body in flames, and the catchphrase, Flame on! The Thing. Ben gains superhuman strength, a rock body, and the catchphrase, It's clobbering time. Christoph Vernaud, a child brainwashed to think he's Doctor Doom, traps the Fantastic Four in the Baxter building, shoots it into outer space, and blows it up. The superhero teams need super fast transportation, so Reed designs the Fantastic Car. He soon upgrades his initial flying bathtub design to a machine that can split into 4 vehicles. And that took place in the 90s because in the run I'm collecting that is introduced. Yeah, I know my stuff. Top 4 fantastic powers. Number 4 is the Thing. He can withstand armor-piercing shells, extreme heat and cold, survive in space and the depths of the ocean. Number 3, Invisible Woman can create see-through but solid objects with her mind, such as vehicles and weapons. And number 2, Mr. Fantastic. His body is so bendy it can even absorb the impacts of artillery shells. And number 1, the Human Torch. He can create flaming images of himself, and enemy has to figure out which one is the real Johnny Storm. That means next week we get to do the Super Inhumans. So this will be where we pick up next week. We're on page 134. 235. So we are about halfway there, guys. And then we'll move on to another book for our Tuesday night. So next week we start the Inhumans. Like it says, don't forget to like and subscribe. My name's Chase Higgins. You can follow us, Boxes of Comics, on Instagram and Twitter at Boxes of Comics. And as of this morning, we were at 128 subscribers. So go ahead and share our channel with your friends and family. Make sure you subscribe. And our goal for this year is to get to 200 subscribers by the December 31st, so by the end of the year, which I think is completely possible. So go ahead and subscribe. That's it for today. Inhumans next week. We're going to have to film a new video either this week or next week, depending on when we have time, because school starts back up for me next week. So our first video is going to be Web of Spider-Man collection update. Like I said, we only have 10 more to go. Let me see. How many issues do we have left to do? Comic runs to collect. Web of Spider-Man 31, 36, 70, 79, 97, 98, 99, 111, 114, 118, 119, 120, 125. We have 13 more issues left to go. Oh, 15 if you count the issues annual 7 and 8. So we have 15 Web of Spider-Man to collect, and then we'll focus on Fantastic Four. So we're getting close. My LCS doesn't have the early numbers because I guess they're important. I guess 36 is like Kraven's Last Hunt, which I guess cost a lot for some reason. I don't know why. So I'll have to get that one off of eBay. Probably end up getting a lot of these off of eBay. But almost done with Web of Spider-Man. So this week we're going to film Web of Spider-Man collection update. And then once that one's posted, we're going to talk about more pickups from our local comic shop. And we'll also have a Star Wars Episode 3 review coming out because we're also going to review all 9 Star Wars films. And if those do good, maybe we review Marvel movies. But yeah, like I said, our next video for sure is going to be Web of Spider-Man. Next Tuesday night is Inhumans. Like and subscribe. And I think that's it. So I'd like to thank Gray Man for sticking it out with us. I like when people watch this all the way through. Makes me feel special. And I'm sure I will be on Standables Prime's YouTube channel. So I'm sure I'll see you there, Gray Man. That's all we have for tonight. So thanks for watching, and I will see you later. And broadcast. Yes.